Hello, Potted Together fam.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Today we are doing some cleaning, some tidying, some organizing. And I am here in my plant command center. You can tell behind me I have these cubbies, one of which is for my cat, and the others are full of plant stuff. And the same for this shelf over here. Actually, you can't see that. Let me turn those grow lights off. Pro tip, get yourself some smart plugs because you can just do this. Ta-da! You can see I have a bunch of pots underneath here on the floor piling up. So anyway, this is what I consider to be my plant command center. This is where I film my videos, this is my background, and also where most of my storage is.
My plant storage is in my laundry room. This is basically what it looks like right now, which is pretty horrible. So I'm going to be transferring all of this into the plant room because I now have all of this storage, as you can see down here. So it's really covered up with plants and it's not going to be like that long term. These plants, most of them are actually going to be up on the wall, but that's besides the point. I got all this storage because I was tired of having my plant stuff just scattered around the house and in the garage, and I wanted a place to put it all.
So today I'm really excited because I get to organize my plant bins, and I already have some stuff out because I was going through it and seeing, I'm like, man, this is embarrassing. Like, these drawers are so messy and I need to really get my life under control. And these videos are so fun for me because I like to see where people put all their plant accessories. So I'm super excited to see what Adam and Becca have up their sleeves over at their houses, because I don't think I ever saw their plant accessory stash, just their plant collections.
Cleaning and organizing aren't my forte per se. So usually what I do is I just kind of take everything out. So it always gets worse before it gets better. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take everything out of these shelves. I might talk about the few of them, figure out what I need to group together, what can leave the house, what needs to stay, and go from there. I don't know. Is that how you clean and organize? We're gonna do it though.
All right, now I'm going to just like organize what's in here right now and then bring in all of the new stuff. So I have a bunch of these wood things, which I would like to have a use for eventually, but I just don't right now. So I've been storing them for a very long time. And then the rest of this is just like plant books. And then I have some pot clips, which I haven't used yet. These are like bigger ones for like a bigger pot, I hope. But yeah, I have plant books in here, which I think I might actually move my plant book stuff over, and eventually this stuff will be out again. It's just sort of put away right now because I am not styling my actual like wicker shelf right now. So once the wicker shelf is styled again, I will be able to use these, but I cannot right now. I don't want them to get broken or something. I just don't really have space to have them out right now.
So in this drawer, I have some giveaway stuff to send out. So I have to get this stuff mailed out on Monday. I did a giveaway a few months ago, or actually like a month ago. Here are some cards I have from when I send like plant mail and like miscellaneous stuff, my catchy traps, like all this needs a home, seriously. And then in here is another miscellaneous drawer. Like, why do we have incense sticks in my plant drawer? Like, I don't know. We have some plant labels, some mothballs for outside. Why are these in here? Oh, this is fun. We have some itch relief gel for the dogs. Why is it in my drawer? Here is my propagation cup stash. Here's some trellis. Lots of things going on in here. This is my camera bag drawer. So this is pretty clean, but I don't know how those pots made it in there. It's probably my mom. I don't know why she's putting stuff in my drawers, but I have my camera out now. So this is where I keep like all my tripods, my camera stuff, batteries, blah, blah, blah. And then down here is like pest management and LECA supplies and heat mats. Oh my gosh, I forgot I had these heat mats, you guys. I need to use them. It's winter. Another video to be done. And then in here, we have some more pots, like a grow bag back here. What is this? Oh, that's my Leca water jug. As you can see, I haven't refilled it in a while. And then let's get to this drawer. Yes, some spag, some prop stuff. This has all of my like my macrame plant hangers. There's a ton in here. There's like a 3-thing basket, some leather ones back there. I don't know, gardening gloves, prop station. Fun. I need to get this organized, so let's go.
This cubby right here had a lot of my trellises in them. As my Hoya are getting bigger, they're needing trellises, so I have a stockpile of trellises, I think it's trellises, because when I repot them, I usually stick them in a trellis. So I have a lot of different kinds. I have these metal ones. I haven't used these heart-shaped ones yet, but they're kind of cute. I have these metal ones. I have some bamboo ones that I water seal the bottom, a couple other bamboo shapes, and I have these beautiful 3D printed ones that I haven't used. This one's really small, so I don't really know what I'm gonna use that one for. Anyway, I've kind of just been shoving them in there to get them out of the way. So that's gonna be like trellis central, but let me go ahead and just empty the rest of these out so we can start organizing.
This is my seed storage. So I'm gonna keep this as my garden thing, I think. Oops. I have some seeds in here, which I need to put in the seed storage bin. I actually have houseplant seeds that I put in here, and I don't have a label for that, so I'm just going to make a label really quick. This is just a label maker I got on Amazon a while ago. I might also label the top of these so that I know like which is in what. This one I want to be about like extra pot storage. I also have my extra plant stands in there. So we've got terracotta pots, saucers, and then these ones are plastic pots, so I guess I'll just put those like right there. I think this far one over here I'm going to make display things, so I have a place to put all of these. These are also going to go in there since these are technically for display too. All right, so that's basically an organization of all the stuff that was already in here. Now I'm just going to go get my other stuff, and that stuff is going to be a lot more, so BRB.
So I think I'm gonna put like a pile that I'm not gonna use, like that I'm not gonna put back in here, off to the side, and like put those somewhere else because they don't belong in there. Like the anti-itch cream. This is some pon that I have yet to try. Oh look, I have some Tanks fertilizer here. Good stuff. All of my scoops, Japanese beetle traps. Gotta love that. Some more spag. Trellis. These trellis are cute too. These are like ones that fit on my plant shelf, you know? Okay, that's one bin. I am gonna go through the rest of these bins pretty quickly, and then I'm going to show you how they look afterwards since we saw them before.
First up, I see supplies in here that relate to propagation, to potting. So I think I'll try to keep those together. I have a brick of this New Zealand sphagnum moss, which honestly is my favorite spag. I don't use spag a ton. Sphagnum moss is not replenished easily. So I bought these a long time ago because usually this New Zealand spag is out of stock. So when it came into stock, I bought 2 bricks of it, and I was probably 2 years ago maybe at the start of the pandemic. And anyway, I still have a good chunk left in here, and I have this whole other brick. So these, I'm kind of just saving for when I propagate wet sticks or maybe ship out some plants to people. I usually put it in some damp spag if it's not already in a little container. I have this bag of charcoal in here too that I was planning to use for a terrarium. I was gonna use some moss and some charcoal, but it's been 2 years and I haven't done that, so this is gonna go out to the garage. And then I have this beautiful bag of pon, which if you don't know what pon is, it's kind of another planting medium akin to leca. It's a passive hydro, soil-free planting medium, but my friend Lydia made me this pon from her own recipe because lechuza pon is usually hard to get your hands on, so I use this all the time. So I am gonna put this here.
All right, so I have some cleaning cloths, which I'm actually probably just gonna put in my kitchen because I usually clean my plants in the sink. And I have extra pots. These are plastic, so I'm gonna put those in the middle there with all the plastic pots. I have pest control stuff, which I'm thinking I might do like a plant products drawer or section right here in this one. So that would include like something like this. So I'll put the chemicals on the other side. And I should say, I don't have children, so, you know, if I did have children, I probably wouldn't be putting chemicals and things like that so close to the ground. I have an extra sprayer, which will go with garden, and then I have plant food, which I think that this could be used for indoors and outdoors, and I've not used it indoors since I started using a different fertilizer from Tank's Green Stuff. So I'm gonna put this with my outdoor garden stuff. We've got 2 sets of shears, which I'm gonna count as plant tools, and I've just been putting it in this little pot. These are my little gauges for how often a plant needs to be watered. And I'm going to put this, I think, in just with my shears so that it's easily accessible to me. This is an egg carton, which I have used in the past, not this one, but other ones I've used for seed starting. So I'm going to put this with garden. This right here is a little propagation vessel, and I have not used this in probably like 2 years. So I'm gonna put it over with display, but I might also just get rid of it. Mosquito bits, SNS 209, these are both pest related, so those are gonna go in here. Seed starters, and like a bunch of bulbs that I never planted. We've got African violet stuff and rooting powder. So over here in plant stuff, and then I've got some saucers, kind of cute like wood saucers. These are gonna go with the pots. I guess Super Thrive can go in with all of this as well. And then I have my rubbing alcohol, which I'll put with my pest control. Another load.
I seriously can't believe I did that fast. My back hurts though. Let me show you my drawers. And then I also have another cabinet that I keep pots in, but that's already organized, so I'll show you that. Ow, how did that happen? Okay, first drawer. We have a bunch of miscellaneous things. We have Velcro tape, some garden labels. I took the plant labels out of that dilapidated box and put them in here. Humidity reader, aerator, tool, scissors, just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff in here that I use a lot. I use very often. These are all my extra trellis that I have here. Some cards for when I send people some plant mail. And then my scoops, those are my extra scoops because I keep the scoops that I use all the time in the bag of soil and in the leca. So, okay, drawer number 1. Drawer number 2 is all my propagation stuff. I love how this drawer looks, like it's super organized. So I have all of my like water propagation things here. This is something I got from Etsy. Some old vintage jars. Well, that's not vintage. I think this is. I like to keep these on hand because they're just super cute for like a quick water propagation. And then these are for my sphagnum moss propagation. I use the Dixie cup thing. Adam does the same thing. I got the idea from him. Moss poles, because I didn't know where to put those, but that's fine. They could stay there. This is still my camera drawer, but I just took that pot out of there and put my wires in there because that's for my grow lights. So that didn't change very much. This is all of my like other mediums. So I have my pon, my fertilizer, my spag, and then my soil is actually down on that bottom shelf because I get the big bag of De La Tanks and it doesn't fit in my drawer. So it lives down there. Okay, and then, oh, one in there already. This drawer down here is pretty much all LECA stuff and any like pesticides or fertilizer. So I have my Super Thrive, my cactus fertilizer. This is my Fiddly Fig fertilizer. Yes, she has a special fertilizer because she's a freaking diva. My 8. And then I have, oh, yeah, I didn't take this out. This is the skunk odor remover that I got because my dogs got sprayed. That's going to stay there because it needs to be where I can get to it. And then like all of my LECA nutrients and the jug that I use to water. And then in here I have all of my hanging things. Like these are all macrame plant hangers, which I think I'm going to hang up downstairs. This is just gifts I got from people. These hangers are just amazing. I love them so much. When we moved, I just didn't hang them back up. And this I actually got when we were in Arizona at a flea market. It's like a 3-basket thing.
And then the other big kind of amassed supplies that I can see here are takeout containers. This just shows you where I have been mentally in the last few years. But I saved these because they are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful for propagating. They all have these clear lids, and honestly, it's the best, in my opinion, if you're propagating like a wet stick or a node propagation. These are literally the best things to use to accomplish that. So I like to save them, and I have all different sizes. And then I think lastly, I'll just stick my trellises in there because it seems like it's the theme of that cubby is potting. So these are all gonna go in there. That'll do. Okay, the next thing I noticed that I have quite a bit of are pots. Some of these were given to me by people wanting me to do sponsored posts, but I don't use pots that often. These all have drainage holes. They're meant for soil, and you know that the majority of my plants are in LECA, so I don't really have a use for these. So I'm gonna gather these up and take them to a plant swap because I know that somebody out there will have a use for tiny little pots for cacti and succulent, but not me. I am gonna keep these 2 pots though, because I bought these when I was on a trip, and they're kind of a terracotta, and I really love them. They're just a unique little pot, and I know that at some point I'll have something to put in them, so I'm gonna keep these in here, even though I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to because I just like these a lot. And the other pots I'm keeping are cash pos. So none of these have drainage, and these are kind of decorative pots that I can keep to use as a cash po or use as a decorative pot. So those ones are gonna stay inside with me. And I have plenty more over here that are actually organized because I recently did this. But these shelves down here are full of cash pos. And then I also have a bunch of protectors for your furniture. So some of my cash pos that I have do kind of leak water. I don't want to say leak, but they're kind of a porous material, and the bottom of them sometimes gets damp or moist, so I usually set those on a cork board or a mat. I also keep a stock of trays, drip trays. Would you call these drip trays? And then lastly, to finish up this little cubby organization, I think we're gonna free up an entire cubby, a whole cubby over here. Gloves we'll put with the potting area. I have quite a few of these plastic drainage or drip trays as well. I use these a lot with my soil plants. If I'm watering, I like to let the water flow through a couple times, and then I'll sometimes stick them in one of these deep dishes and kind of let it sit there and soak up any extra water that it needs for maybe like 30 minutes or so. But I do use these all the time, so I'm going to keep these inside too because I still have some plants in soil and I still need to use these so my counters don't have water all over them.
Now let me show you my pot cabinet. Okay, I keep all of my pots in here down on this bottom shelf. So this doesn't really need organizing because it's literally just like all of my mostly terracotta pots. In the spring I'll go through it and like repot and whatever, but I put them back pretty neatly. And then up here I have some Leica. I love how like a box of crayons got up there. Like, how about you live down there, okay? Like my mom's candle holder, like this is what happens when you live with other people. But just extra pots and some bigger terracotta up there.
Okay, so this load is mostly extra plant lights and stuff, but this is a repotting tarp. I don't know exactly where to put this. I'm thinking I'll put it with pots for right now. I might not have space to keep that in there. I might put it in my plant tools one, like after this. I've got some PVC pipes, which I have used in the past for moss poles, but I think I'm actually just gonna put this in my garage because we might use these for other things. Like maybe I'll use them in the garden or something. I have 2 heat mats, which are garden related, so that will go in there. And then all of this is just extra grow lights, and it looks like a disaster because it is, but I don't wanna throw these away because I'm obviously going to use them. So I think I'm actually just going to put these in this one. There we go. Okay, that's all sorted. Oh, and these propagation things, I don't know what to do with them. I think I'm just gonna put it in tools. Like I always tell myself that I don't need these, but then I come to a point where I do need them and I'm upset that I have to like order takeout to get them, so. I'm just gonna hold on to them just in case. Oh wait, also, this is something that I used also for moss poles, but I don't really make moss poles anymore. So I don't really know what to do with this. I think I'm just gonna put it in with the grow lights because it's sort of my, I guess I'm kind of thinking about this far one as my, probably won't reach for it very often, but just in case drawer. I feel like everyone needs to have one of those, right?
Okay, I do have some cash pose over here on the floor that I showed you at the beginning. And I think since we freed up this space, maybe it will be cash po overflow. Hashtag cash po overflow. This little babe is one of my net pots that I have set up for a trellis. And the way I do that, I've talked about this on the podcast, but I use zip ties. You can see that there are zip ties that are holding the trellis to the net pot so it stays sturdy. Like literally this thing is not moving anywhere. So that's a little tip or trick from the Lord of Leica to trellis your Hoya when they're in semi-hydroponics.
Next load. I've got some more plant pest stuff, some more plants that need to be planted. This is a bag of diatomaceous earth, which is really, really messy. Got a couple of pots. I have never used these tiny square pots because I don't have a use for them. But actually this one I have used. There's soil at the bottom. But the other 2 I have never used. I guess I just hold on to them for old time's sake. I don't know, maybe someday I'll use them. And then fertilizer. I really don't know where to keep fertilizer. Like all my soil and stuff, I want it to be in like a place that's easily accessible, but I might just have to like put it in this little nook right here, like between the shelf and the storage units. I think I might just have to do that because honestly, I don't know where else I'm gonna put soil. And then the last thing in there was just a bunch of saucers. I'm actually going to leave some of these out because I might be using them for the greenhouse cabinet.
Okay guys, thanks so much for coming into my home and helping me organize my bins. I wish you could be here in person to help me for real.
I hope this gave you just a little bit of motivation to maybe do this to your own space if it's something you've been putting off.
We really appreciate you watching this video, and I hope that you're as excited for season 4 as we are.
Subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for joining me today.
We will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.